Guess who's back? Back again. Alright. Let's continue Turnabout Airlines. We were about to investigate the cargo hold, I believe. Indeed. Good God, this cargo hold is huge. Why is it so tall? How big is this plane?
Wow, so this is the cargo hold, huh?
And away he goes.
It's so big!
That's what I'm saying. This plane is a special model. It has both a super large cargo hold and ultra luxurious first class seating. So this is the real scene of the murder. There is certainly a high probability that, which is why we are here. Of that, which is why we are here, correct.
Okay, let's get investigating, sir.
Okay, we're getting right to it.
Hey, what's in the suitcase, pal?
It's what the victim checked in, sir. So this suitcase belonged to Mr. Hicks. I don't think he'd mind if we take a closer look.
There's nothing out of the ordinary in here, sir.
Wait, a file.
And there's a photo of Miss Von Karma in it, sir.
It looks like a profile on Francisca. I'm sorry? Why would Mr. Hicks have had a file on her? Francisca? Something you want to tell us?
Holy suitcases, Mr. Edgeworth. It's like an all-you-can suitcase fair.
These must be all the leftover ones they couldn't sell. The ones the company is planning to dispose of after the flight is over.
This paint job is really cool, don't you think? It practically screams artsy.
Oh, why not purchase one then? I'm sure it will bring you much happiness.
You think so? Then maybe I will. Let's see here. $1,200? I think I'll pass.
And Mr. Nero wonders why they don't sell. You'd need 2 jobs just to buy one. Although, it definitely looks like one is missing. What is this brittle substance I'm stepping on? It's a bunch of glass fragments.
Oh, I just love pushing buttons on elevators and crosswalk signals. Here, you should give it a try, sir. Go on, push it.
The elevator is currently stopped on the first floor, detective. It can't move.
Oh yeah, I guess nothing would happen if you pushed it down.
Well, nothing would happen normally anyway without a special keycard. Both the door to the attendant's room and the elevator control panels require a keycard, which makes it impossible for a passenger to come down here. All sorts of boxes are piled up here.
This one says flammable, and this one, it says pharmaceuticals.
This one says for exorcism use only. Just what kind of operation is this airline running? For exorcism use only? That's crazy. I didn't know that this plane was capable of carrying such large pieces of cargo.
This thing's as tall as 2 of you on top of each other, sir.
It would probably take 20 of you to cover the entire surface of this monstrosity.
What, really? Yeah, I guess that sounds about right.
There's really no need to take a throwaway estimate seriously, detective. Keeping track of this many pieces of cargo must be very taxing on the cargo crew.
This sure brings back memories of when I worked as a part-time mover, sir.
By the look in his eyes, he's waiting for me to ask about the rest of the story. But no matter how he pours on the puppy eyes, I have no intention of doing so. Oh, come on, Edgeworth. Ask him. Have you noticed anything strange happening around here?
No, sir. I haven't noticed a thing.
I'm not sure that he meant to sound so oblivious. Francisca, you arrived at the scene of the crime before Detective Gumshoe, correct? And you then immediately began to direct the investigation. It seems to me that you were already here at this airport for something besides this murder. Were you waiting for your boyfriend? Yes, I was. I've been following a very large and involved governmental level international crime. Never mind. But it's much too large for one person to take on alone. So I decided that I should form a joint investigation with Interpol. Shit, she's working with Interpol? Interpol's involved. It's a top secret operation, so I can't really tell you any more than I already have. Well, damn. Just as Mr. Nero said, the timestamp sheet says she bought the suitcase at 5:40 a.m. Okay, seemingly nothing else incriminating on her. That's the victim. It's infuriating to see him crumpled on the floor like that, lifeless. I'll catch the one who did this to him myself, I swear it. Francisca is really worked up over the victim. There's something much more urgent we should be dealing with right now. Don't waste my time or yours. Oh, dang it. Okay, this one worked. What do you think about this piggy bank, Francisco? What do I think? What else is there to think but that it's a murder weapon? I meant, what do you think about Captain Hugo himself? He's a crude rendition of a genus of primates commonly referred to as slow lorises. Loris comes from the Dutch word for simpleton, which is extremely fitting, because that's exactly what Captain Hugo represents, the guilty simpleton I'm going to arrest. I don't think she's capable of giving a more normal answer. Okay. Aha. I think we can safely conclude that these fragments are from a pair of glasses.
And the victim was wearing a pair of broken glasses.
Oh, one sec. There we go. Lunch has been eaten. Yippee. I'm sure that the shards would match up perfectly with the remnants of his glasses lenses. Ergo, the victim was here just as I suspected.
So you're saying that the real scene of the crime was here, sir?
Isn't that what I've been saying for a while now?
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
Perhaps it's a bit too early to draw that conclusion. However, I believe that the probability has just skyrocketed considerably. All that's left is to find the murder weapon. Now, why would Mr. Hicks have documents profiling Francisca?
Oh, I know. I bet he's a big fan of Miss Von Karma, sir.
Franziska said that she had come to this airport as part of an Interpol investigation.
Oh, maybe Mr. Hicks heard that she was coming here and he followed her.
Detective, I think it's more likely that Mr. Hicks was, in actuality, Interpol agent Hicks. I think Franziska has some explaining to do. You came to this airport to rendezvous with the victim, didn't you?
Nonsense. What are you talking about?
We found a profile detailing information about you in the victim's luggage. I suppose it was prepared for him so that he could recognize you when he landed, which makes him not Mr. Hicks, but rather Interpol agent Hicks. Isn't that correct?
I should have known you'd figure it out, Miles. But it looks like they got to him fast.
So you really did come here to receive an Interpol agent then?
Yes. Agent Hicks was on the trail of a very large international smuggling ring. He went undercover to investigate this crime, and it was I who put him on this case. I was supposed to receive a call from him on his cell phone once he landed. I never expected to receive a call about the murder instead.
I think we now have pretty definitive evidence that Agent Hicks came down here to the cargo hold.
What was he doing down here, sir? There's nothing but luggage. Oh, I get it. Maybe he forgot something in a suitcase and came down to get it. Ow! Agent Hicks came here for a work-related reason. Of that, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm sure he was here to investigate the smuggling operation he was observing. Franziska, do you know exactly how he intended to pursue his investigation?
No. Unfortunately, I was going to find out from him after he had landed.
I see. But this raises another question. A normal passenger can't access the cargo hold on their own.
Agent Hicks must have identified himself to a member of the crew, and entered the cargo hold with that person who let him in.
Yes, and then he was murdered here. These glass fragments in his broken glasses are a testament to that. And then, the killer put Agent Hicks into one of the spare suitcases, and they entered the elevator, but while they were riding up, the plane hit that patch of turbulence. Because of the intense shaking, the suitcase popped open and Agent Hicks' body flew out. At the same time, his wallet fell out of his pocket, spilling its contents everywhere. Terrible wallet if so. Which explains why there was money scattered all over the elevator floor.
I think it's pretty easy to say who the culprit is at this stage. What? Really, sir? I know what you're thinking, Miles Edgeworth, but that the killer can be none other than Miss Rhoda Tonero. If it was a crew member, any one of them could have shown Agent Hicks to the cargo hold. But the point to keep in mind is a keycard that allows the elevator to come down here. The only person with such high-level access is Miss Rhoda Tonero. I'd say that's a pretty decisive piece of information, wouldn't you?
I know what she's trying to say, but I'm not certain it's as simple as that.
Hold it!
That might be true, but then it could be anyone, including Miss Meal or even the captain.
Don't be a fool. A plane without a pilot in the cockpit is like a horse without a rider, crop in hand. Much like Scruffy over there.
I can't disagree with you on that. Detective Gumshoe does always need a guiding hand. Very well, how about the other flight attendant, Miss Meal?
Ha, I thought you might ask about her. But the point to keep in mind is the keycard that allows the elevator to come down here.
Hold it!
It is highly likely that a keycard was stolen from Miss Tonero.
Objection!
Objection! It's highly likely. It's a possibility, the best you can come up with. And you call yourself a disciple of my father.
Yes, well, while I don't have any evidence...
Be quiet, you're a disgrace. There's more evidence pointing to Miss Rhoda Tonero, you know. It's not just a keycard that gives her away. Are you talking about the murder weapon, the Captain Hugo piggyback? Yes, she is also the only person with a key to open that display case.
Hold it!
But that is Stop right there, Miles Edgeworth. You don't have any proof that this is just a red herring. If you must keep on insisting that it's fake, then what is the real murder weapon and where did it go? Speechless, I see. Not a surprise. After all, you know we've searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed. There must be a way. There must be something that can help me rule out the piggy bank as a murder weapon. What should be examined further to help us ascertain the authenticity of the weapon? The body? Francisca, I think you were too quick to jump on your conclusions. Oh, was I? Yes, we don't even have the autopsy results yet. How can I not say that you made a snap judgment when you have yet to even see if the wound on Agent Hicks's head is consistent with the murder weapon? Scruffy! Yes, sir. Contact the medical examiner's office at once. I wish to hear the results of Agent Hicks's autopsy. Yes, sir. Miles just points to his head the whole time. Incredible. We've got a big problem, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Why do you address Mr. Edgeworth? Francisca's leading the investigation. What is it, detective? They're still doing the autopsy, but they said they already knew this one thing for sure. Report, now. The dog said that it's one giant bruise from a beating from his shoulder down to his mid-back. From the victor's shoulder to his mid-back? He was beaten over such a wide area. Well, I'd say maybe there was a sign the killer had a grudge against Agent Hicks. It wasn't just his head. The killer went all out and hit him multiple times, sir. Are we gonna ignore the really obvious conclusion here that he fell on his back? Probably from the top of the staircase? Scruffy, what is had a grudge against Agent Hicks supposed to mean? Well, that's, Was the wound on the victim's head consistent with the murder weapon, detective? Oh, well, they said they were still looking into that, sir. You're completely useless. Yo! Sir, I told you already, you can't go down there. I'm gonna assume this is, LeBlanc? No, you remember stuff from my way. What is all that racket? Indeed. My records, my cargoes are mine, and I demand you return them to me. We're still investigating the cargo hold. Please understand and have a little patience. I suppose there was no choice. Finally, I think he can... Hey, what are you? You have left me no choice but to use strong force. Ah! You won't get past me. This is... Wait, that's it. So that's what this whole thing has been about. I'm so... Why is everything grey? After all, you notice... Yes, I know. Yeah, I got that part. Why is this happening this way? Oh, that's really funny. He fucking slow motion falls to his death, and Miles is just like, ah, I see it now. Eureka. What do you mean? this that's supposed to be connected? Okay. Allegedly, the killer struck the victim many times over, which is why there is extensive bruising over such a wide area. But is that really the correct conclusion to draw from the evidence? The bruise from his shoulder down to the middle of his back is one continuous mark, which is more suggestive of a single blow to the back. If that's the case, then the piggy bank is much too small to have caused that. Therefore, the murder weapon must be something far bigger. If we're looking for a rather large weapon, you'd think it would stick out, but so far we haven't found anything that resembles a weapon of any sort. Perhaps, just perhaps, it's something we all overlooked from the very beginning, because normally it's too impossibly big to be taken into consideration.
What was that all about? Was he trying to jump his way down here?
Francisca. What do you want? I found it, Francisca. I found the real murder weapon. You did?
He really jumped.
We didn't realize it until now, but the answer has been right in front of us this whole time.
He might be hurt. We should go check on him, sirs.
There's that pompous attitude of yours again. You should learn to drop that habit. This coming from a prosecutor with a habit of whipping everyone she comes across. Anyway, if you really are a prosecutor, then you'll back up yourself up some evidence.
You two aren't listening at all, aren't you?
Come on then, show me this real murder weapon you speak of. This is the real murder weapon.
Take that!
No, that's not what I meant to do. I did not mean to click T. I love that, like, Phoenix is always immediately like, oh, my bad, I think I should rethink this. Edgeworth is just like, no, actually, I was just practicing and trying to fool you. I don't have any evidence to show you. Foolish reasoning for a foolish fool from a foolishly foolish fool meant to fool me. What do you mean by I don't have evidence to show? Perhaps I should have phrased it as that which caused Agent Hicks' death is incorporeal. Forgive me, but I do believe I figured out what was the real cause of death. Free fall. The victim fell from a great height and subsequently died as a result. In other words, the real cause of death is free falling to the ground. Fell to his death? Yes, this is the only plausible possibility. The victim had extensive bruising on the back of his head and his back, and the only rational explanation for these injuries is that he fell to his death. But the murder happened inside the plane. I know. Are you claiming that there is someplace in this airplane from which he could have fallen from? As I said earlier, the answer has been right in front of us the entire time. You can't mean... Yes, I do. The victim fell from the top of the stairs to this very cargo hold.
What? Then we're in trouble. We may have a second death on our hands, sirs. Hey, you, tell me you aren't dead, pal. Come on, why are you screaming? He's alive.
And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. It's not possible that Agent Hicks fell over the railing to his death. That man is living proof of that. I suppose it's true that it's not possible, given the current circumstances. The current circumstances? What is that supposed to mean? Suppose that large piece of cargo wasn't there at the time. What would happen then?
It would have been a Virginian pancake for sure, sir.
I suppose that man over there wouldn't still be breathing. But the reality is that the cargo box is there. There's no point in entertaining your wild hypothetical scenarios. It may be there now, but... I did not mean to click that. It may be there now, but there's no proof it was always there. Ha! As if there would have been a window of time when the giant box was not there. Ah, but there was. What?
What can I use to show her that it's possible the box is not always where it is now?
Take that!
You refueled in the Republic of Zhengfa.
Yes, this flight had a short layover in Zhengfa in order to refuel. That wasn't the only reason for the layover. We also transferred some cargo. What if the box in question was only transferred onto the plane at that time? To further prove my point, let's take a look at what's next to the box in question.
It's labeled Zhengfa Express.
Correct, meaning it was loaded onto the plane in Zhengfa. Now, what if the box in question was also loaded on at the same time?
It would mean that the box was not there in the cargo hold during the Europe-Zhengfa leg of the flight,
making a clear drop from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death entirely possible.
But your theory is still far-fetched.
Then allow me to a chance to prove how very likely my scenario is. My first order of business will be to examine the piece of cargo in more detail. Okay. The leftover suitcases sit here lined up in two pretty neat rows. Too bad for Mr. Nero, but this design is unmarketable.
I'd buy enough if it was cheaper, sir. Do you think they'd sell it to me at a discount? Oh, or why don't they sell them in the airport and have a bargain basement aisle? Buy one, get one free. If you win the raffle, you get one more free. How about those ideas, sir?
I think if they did that, everyone would lose. I need to sit up more straight. It's hard for me to do Gumshoe's voice while I'm leaned back against like a bunch of cushions. This is a rather large piece of cargo. There's a tag on it.
There's a tag on it, sir. Let's see. I live for Red Statue. Never heard of it.
Nor do I, but all I care for is if we can prove it wasn't here at the time of the crime.
Then let's get investigating, sir.
Them. Full speed.
Look, don't go about touching my possessions without my permission. Don't rush up to me like that, pal.
So this belongs to Mr. LeBlanc, does it? I should see what else I can find out from him. I enjoy his theme. I take it that this large piece of cargo belongs to you, Mr. LeBlanc.
This is my ship that's 5 feet apart from Europe. This olive red statue is worth 10 billion cents. No, maybe much, much more.
Mr. LeBlanc's reason for choosing this plane must have been the large cargo hold.
10 million cents?
I suggest you stop trying to calculate how many packets of noodles that makes, Detective.
Darn, how'd you do that? I feel like you keep getting better and better at seeing right through me every year.
Though I grow with each revolution of the planet around the sun. I had the distinct impression he continues to madly spin in place.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, so 10 million cents, is that in euros or in dollars?
Does it really make a difference to our case? Miss LeBlanc, is there a chance your cargo is related to There's a chance your cargo is related to our murder case. I was wondering if you would allow us to examine it a bit closer.
It is a very, very bit of art. No, there'll be no touching. How horrible is that precious piece of cloth soiled?
I assure you it wasn't me. I believe it to be the work of the killer.
I will teach that killer a lesson. You can be sure I will. It will be the LeBlanc Revolution.
I think he means the LeBlanc Retribution, but either way it sounds intimidating. Does it though? Does it really? Keeping track of this many pieces of cargo must be very taxing on the cargo crew. Sure, yeah, we already seen this one. So Mr. Hicks was actually an Interpol agent.
That's so cool. I can't believe he was from Interpol. The adventure, the glamour, and the miraculous big escape when you get caught by the enemy.
Except in this case, there was no big escape.
And no miracle.
Yeah, same one as before. Okay.
If you spot anything off, you can come tell me right away, okay, pal?
Okay, sir.
It's rather unusual for Gumshoe to be so directing. He must outrank this officer.
If you run into any trouble, just leave it up to me, okay?
Yes, sir. Watch out, Detective Gumshoe.
Ow!
Scruffy, I think your ego is in need of some deflating.
I was following in your footsteps, sir. I want to try and patronizing my subordinates.
Cruel and unforgiving to detective even in front of his own subordinates. If I may have a word with you, Francisco. I don't think you have the time for idle chatter. You still need to prove to me why that your hypothetical situation is in fact reality. Good job, officer. Mr. LeBlanc is certainly not an easy person to hold back.
No thanks necessary, sir. It's all part of the job, even if he did eventually get by.
Well, I have a few things to ask him anyway, so it worked out in your favor this time.
Thank you very much, sir. Next time I'll be sure not to let anyone through. Even if it takes my life in the process, sir.
I appreciate the sentiment, however, we can't have people getting hurt on the job either. If Mr. LeBlanc has something to do with the smuggling ring, then it's possible this fake statue was brought on board in Zhengfa. I think I need to question him a bit further. How did we know it was fake? Oh, the Captain, like, Hugo Piggy Bank statue. Is that what he's saying? About your statue, Mr. LeBlanc, I wonder if it might be a fake. Oh, okay, he's just immediately suspecting that that LeBlanc statue is a fake.
What? How dare you say my art is fake?
I suspect that your statue might be the target of an international smuggling ring.
Don't say such fantastical things. Those thieves would not dare. I have the certification of my cargo right here.
Do you mean the cargo certification document? Mr. Zinc LeBlanc, why didn't you say so earlier? Please show it to us at once. I can't read this. What does it say?
It says that Brunner Day the cargo was put onto the plane in Europe.
And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. Too bad for you. This statue was brought on board in Europe, just as it states in the certificate. No, which means that there never was a window of time in which the statue wasn't sitting here. I respectfully disagree. We can't discount a theory until I see the statue for myself.
And you can have your wish. Look at it and see that I'm right.
This, I know I've seen this somewhere. I fucking knew it would be that one.
This is the olive red. It gives off such a feeling of art. I can practically smell it. This has a high amount of historical value. After it was unveiled at a museum in Europe, I brought it to the country to exhibit it.
believe a closer look is warranted here. So this is the infamous Aleph Red statue.
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Did you find something?
There's something wrong with this picture. We should examine it in more detail. Are these eyes made of some sort of gem?
That's a real nice shade of orange. For a sec, I couldn't even tell they were jewels. Oh, but they kinda remind me of the eyes of this stray cat that lives near my house.
Are the eyes supposed to be this color? Is it possible the statue is a fake? Yes, it is. So this is the Aleph Red statue. I swear I've seen this somewhere before.
No wonder this thing's worth 10 million cents. Look at how it sparkles, sir.
I wouldn't call it sparkling, detective. Maybe more along the lines of dully shining. Yes, the eyes are the wrong color. Eureka! Eureka! These eyes are awfully orange, don't you think?
Yeah, and pretty. They remind me of sunset when I was in grade school, sir.
I don't think you see what I'm talking about.
No, I do, but it's like really like the color of the sun when it's setting, sir. Ah, the memories. I remember standing out on that field, spinning with my arms until I fell.
I don't care about sunsets. Focus, detective. What color are the eyes in this photo?
Huh? Ah, sir, they're red.
As I thought, this statue is a fake. Mr. LeBlanc.
What do you want? Do you not know I'm a busy man? I allow you 2 seconds for your answer.
The Aleph Red, I suppose this is your pride and joy, is it not?
The biggest top ray on the European trip. Do you know why I wanted to possess this statue? This trigger started 17 years ago. Better grab a chair, sir. Sounds like this is gonna be a long story.
Mr. LeBlanc, I regret to inform you, and you have my heartfelt sympathy, but...
What is that? Sympathy? For what?
You'll see. I'd like you to compare the eyes.
That large fellow over there has very bright and pretty eyes compared to you.
I wasn't talking about the two of us. I meant the eyes of the statue in front of us, and the one in this photo.
Why the sudden yelling? Now then, oh! It's a photo of the statue on display at a museum in Europe. No?
Now do you see, Mr. LeBlanc? The statue before us is a fake.
A fake?
I believe that even further examination will be required. Now that we have confirmed that this is indeed a fake, there must be some sort of proof that this was brought on board in Jingfa. And I will present you evidence that will resolve the remaining contradiction.
The art dealer isn't looking too happy about it either, sir.
I'll get to the bottom of this for his sake as well as mine.
Can't believe you were able to tell this was a fake from a single glance, sir. You knew right away that its eyes were a different color than ones in a photo.
Yes, unlike a certain detective who needs to try a little harder. The fact that this is a fake means it was swapped with a real one at some point. Ah. The teeth are wrong. Leftover soup. Oh, that's just literally the same thing. There. Oh, I see. What's this?
The statue looks like it's stepping all over the neighbor's cloth cover. It kind of resembles its owner's attitude in a sense. Oh, you said this now? Further, my clothing habits not being stepped on by anyone. It is too expensive for me to allow that to happen.
Please forgive the trespass of my subordinate.
Why should I forgive the trespassers? Unless it is expensive dress, you keep it.
Oh dear. What have we here?
It says Jingfa Express on the cloth, sir.
Something is tugging on the corner of my mind, as though something is out of place.
Eureka!
I'm not entirely confident that there's okay, that's really funny actually. Fucking, hey Gumshoe, do you think this looks suspicious? Yes. Okay, no, that isn't. What?
Eureka!
There's clearly a contradiction here.
What are you going on about? It's just a simple case of a cargo cover getting stuck under a piece of cargo. Ah, that's not possible.
But it is. It shouldn't be this way, but the statue is on top of the cloth. Supposing that the missing piece of cargo was brought on board in Zhengfa, there is no way that any part of it should wind up under something from Europe. Which means that this fake statue was smuggled on board in Zhengfa.
But then what about the cargo certificate?
Let me ask in return, what about Agent Hicks? Why did he come down here in the middle of the flight? There's only one reason why. To secure proof of smuggling on board.
So you say, but I don't believe he had to do that mid-flight. We could have just as easily inspected all the cargo after the plane landed.
It may be true, however, you have it backwards, Francisco. Sure, Agent Hicks could have waited until after the plane had landed, but he had a reason for coming down to the cargo hold. Suppose he had found the fake at the airport. It would have been after the swap-off occurred. At that time, the suspicion would naturally fall on the statue's owner, who would have no way to prove that the statue was switched without his knowledge. Which means there is someone involved who's forging or modifying cargo certificates.
I guess the victim knew the real version of this was gonna get nabbed, huh?
Yes, while this photo could have been seen as nothing more than a simple souvenir, it was in fact taken to be used as a reference document later on. Next, Agent Hicks had to secure proof that the smuggling had taken place. He came down here to take a picture of the cargo hold, or rather, empty one at that, right before the fake statue could be loaded on board.
A photo of the hold missing a valuable piece of cargo would have been proof enough. After that, all he had to do was hold the Zhengfa cargo and arrest the smuggler.
Exactly, this only goes to prove my theory. If the statue was not in the cargo hold during Europe, Zhengfa legged a trip, then there would have been enough height from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death.
Officer, move this statue immediately. I want a thorough examination of the floor underneath. Now!
Miss Von Karma, I'm ready to report my findings.
Go on.
After moving the Aleph red statue out of the way, we tested the area under it with luminol, and there was a reaction.
I see. There was a reaction to luminol, an indication that there was blood in that spot.
Can we stop looking at it now, sirs?
It would seem that my deductions were correct after all.
I suppose it would appear that way.
The culprit cleaned the blood up well.
And how do you think the killer did that?
How did the killer clean up all the blood?
Simple.
Take that!
The killer used a bloody cloth I found inside the suitcase to clean up the mess.
I see. They had to need to clean up the blood, all of the blood, before the plane landed in Zhengfa.
Yes, because otherwise the cargo crew would have discovered it during the layover.
So you guys are saying that the murder happened before the plane landed in Zhengfa?
There's no other conceivable timeline for the events of the murder. But if that is true, then it throws a certain person's testimony into doubt. If the murder occurred before we landed in Zhengfa, then this person becomes highly suspect. Who was it that said it again? Yes, Miss Meal. Recall Miss Meal's testimony about Agent Hicks in regard when we departed to Zhengfa.
I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in a seat at 5 a.m., you know.
She claims that Agent Hicks was alive at the time of the service called, but
That totally contradicts the facts, sir.
But why would she lie about something like that? I think the only person who can answer that is Miss Meal herself. Yes. Miss Meal. Miss Meal. Huh? Do you recall what you said earlier about when you answered some service calls as we were departing from Zhengfa? Huh? You said that Mr. Hicks was sitting in his seat at that time. However, that is simply not possible, because Mr. Hicks was dead long before we ever touched down in Zhengfa. Miss Cammy Meal. Maybe I didn't see what I thought I did. No one could make a mistake so large, Miss Meal. But I make that kind of boo-boo all the time. This is going nowhere, so there must be a better way of resolving this contradiction. Very well, Miss Meal, if you would please tell me about your alibi during the time span from just before we were about to land at 3 AM and 6 AM when the body was found. Are you telling me I'm a suspect, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes. Yeah. From 3 to 4, I was in the flight attendant's room all by my lonesome self. Yeah. From 5 to 6, I was in the flight attendant's room all by my lonesome self. How is a man supposed to react to a testimony like that? Miss Meal, wake up! Huh? She fell asleep again. It looks like the only way I'm going to be able to wake her up is by pressing her.
Hold it!
I want to see what happens. Miss Meal, wake up! I'm awake. Miles Edgeworth, I demand that you do something about this flight attendant this instant! Why ask me to wake her when you can finally put that whip to an appropriate use?
Hold it!
If I remember correctly, food was being served in first class and a lounge between the hours of 3 and 4 AM. Yeah, but that kind of stuff's run by Miss Rhoda. Then what were you doing in the attendance room at that time? Eating, then having a most delicious dream. You mean you were neglecting your duties? No way! Sleeping's part of our job too, you know.
Hold it!
Miss Meal, how many times do I have to repeat myself? Wake up! I'm awake.
Youch! What did you whip me for, sir?
Oh, what did I miss? A poor detective being on the receiving end of a lash in your stead. Really? Sorry about that. You can make amends for that by continuing with your testimony. Why the fuck did she whip Gumshoe? Not my poor man, come on! Leave the poor guy alone.
Hold it!
So you were alone the entire time, were you? Yeah, no one else even popped their head in to say hi. Oh, well, I think a contradiction just popped in to say hi. What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Yes. Miss Meal, there is a clear contradiction embedded in your testimony. Huh? What are you talking about? It's not possible that you were alone in the attendance room the whole time from 5 to 6 AM.
Take that!
Wait, pause. I wonder if you would be so kind as to take a look at this receipt, Miss Meal. Huh? A receipt? For what? It's for the suitcase Mr. Nero brought.
Now, if I may direct your attention to the timestamp. As you can see, it clearly says 5:40 a.m. Miss Tenero. Yes? Huh? Why is the killer here? I thought you'd have her locked up by now. I requested that she be present as a witness so that we may straighten out your complex lie. Yeah, the Edgeworth theme. It's so jazzy in this game. I love it. Oh, it's so groovy. For some reason, it gives me kind of Donkey Kong, like country vibes. Now then, Mr. Nero, between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m., you took a trip from first class down to the first floor in-flight shop, correct? Yes, I went to the shop to buy a suitcase, after which I went straight to the attendant's room to drop it off. And did you see Miss Meal there at the time? No? So, Miss Meal, where were you really between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m.? Miss Cammy Meal. Huh? The bathroom? I'll be the one asking the questions here. Yeah, maybe that's it. I probably just missed her. Nature calls, you know. Do you take me for a fool? That's a little too convenient to be true. But it's the truth. Cross my heart. I don't have enough conclusive proof to counter-argue at this stage. You don't believe me, do you? But please, won't you give me a chance and hear me out? Look, I know you're suspecting me because I'm one of your crew. But do you think that maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda too? She's the one in charge of the elevator keycard in the shop, you know. If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious. What do you have against Miss Rhoda? Jesus. Please leave Miss Tenera out of the conversation. Only you are under suspicion for now. I don't get it. Why are you covering for Miss Rhoda all of a sudden? Now I get it. Maybe you've got your eye on Miss Rhoda. Of course I'm keeping an eye on her. I can't very well let her escape, can I? Never mind. I love how immune he is to that shit. But you wanna know something? Miss Rhoda actually kinda I have absolutely no interest in people who can't appreciate my sense of design. Now is not the time for this sort of talk. Of course she likes him. Everyone likes him. He's Miles fucking Edgeworth. Okay, now.
Hold it!
She is already being detained for further questioning, or have you already forgotten? Yeah, I guess I just forgot. Cammy, don't tell me you suspect me too. Sorry, can't help it. I mean, other than you, there's no one else who could have done it. I can't believe you would think that. I mean, me, a killer? Miss Meal, what did you mean just now by no one else who could have done it?
Hold it!
And what are you in charge of, Miss Meal? I take care of the attendance room. That doesn't count. But I spent so much time in there, it might as well be my responsibility. Miss Edgeworth, Cammy is very talented in languages. So she assists passengers who may not speak English, especially those who speak Virginian. She is the only one on this flight who is fluent. Oh, you mean that kind of what I'm in charge of? Why didn't you say so in the first place?
What else could I have meant?
Yes, I'm really good at Borginian.
She's fluent in Borginian. Then I suppose you're in charge of processing documents in Borginian?
Yeah, I take care of anything that has to do with Borginian.
Very interesting.
Objection!
So you're the only one on this flight crew that speaks Borginian. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. I studied abroad in Borginia for a while.
If that is the case, then the signature on this document belongs to you, doesn't it? This is a falsified piece of documentation with only one purpose: to lead anyone who read it to believe that Mr. LeBlanc's statue was loaded in Europe. The only person who could have either prepared or processed this document in Borginian is you, Miss Mew. Without your participation, the smuggling of the Aleph Red could not have occurred. Don't sleep while I'm pointing my finger at you.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of falling asleep on you, Mr. Edgeworth.
It is exactly as you say. Are you confessing to having participated in the smuggling?
No, far from it. It's true that I was the one who signed off on that document, but you can't use that fact alone to make your allegation of smuggling stick. There was no direct correlation after all.
Why are you blowing bubbles?
All you have is my signature on a piece of paper.
Really, all you did was sign it.
I neglected to check if the cargo had been loaded into the plane properly, so sorry about that.
It seems that she's finally woken up. This is going to be one tough fight.
Suppose, and this is just a supposition, even if I was involved in the smuggling, you can't throw the charge of murder on me just like that. Objection! If you were involved in the smuggling, you would have a strong motive to kill. Agent Hicks was in the middle of an investigation regarding a smuggling ring, and just when he was about to close in, he's killed by a member of that ring.
Well, did you ever stop to think that maybe Rhoda is the smuggling ring member?
After all, unlike me, Rhoda has access to many things on this plane for work purposes.
So perhaps there's some element of a setup at play in this case.
What are you talking about?
Don't worry, I wasn't talking about you. I meant a killer. First it was myself, and now it's Mr. Nero who is under the microscope. It seems to me that our killer is going to great lengths to pin this crime on anyone they can.
You have no proof that Rhoda is being set up, or that she isn't.
Actually, I believe she was indeed the intended target from the very beginning. I believe the plan was to push all the blame for the crime onto her. And this evidence will prove my suspicions. This proves that the killer was out to frame Mr. Nero from the very beginning.
Take that!
The killer could have hidden the body anywhere, and yet they chose the suitcase. Why is that? Perhaps it was to move the body up from the lower deck to the first floor. However, why go through the trouble to do so? The only way all of these accusations make sense is if the killer had wanted to frame Mr. Nero for the murder. Mr. Nero buys a suitcase on every flight she works without fail. But should her suitcase be switched with the one containing the victim's body, that would put her in a very tight spot. Unfortunately for the killer, the turbulence put an end for that plan. There wasn't enough time to put the body back in the suitcase. Ergo, they made do with whatever was at hand, adapted their plan, and tried to frame me as I lay unconscious on the floor from the turbulence.
The killer then went to hide the suitcase in the in-flight shop and brought the piggy bank back to the elevator in order to fabricate a false weapon. A lot of work for a fruitless endeavor, wouldn't you agree? Sounds like the killer had a tough time too, huh? I mean, why did the killer need to frame someone that badly anyway? That is because of the special circumstances surrounding this particular case. What special circumstances dictated the need for the killer to frame someone? Probably when the murder took place. The murder took place before the movie was scheduled to go on. Around that time, almost all of the passengers had returned to their seats. Therefore, the killer had chosen to someone who was not at their seat at the time frame. Isn't that just an explanation to the killer how to choose who and not why they landed? What did I just read? Isn't that an explanation for how the killer chose who and not why they had to? Well, I thought it best to start from there. If you're going to talk about completely unrelated matters, do you mind if I take a nap? Hold on, I'm just getting to the meat of my argument. The killer was at a loss of what to do with Agent Hicks's body. Nope, also wrong. But as it just so happened, there were a bunch of empty suitcases nearby. Being a skinny man, the killer thought to put his body in the suitcase and hand it off. You mean that the whole plan to frame someone was an elaborate coincidence? No, that's not what I said. You've wrongly deduced my meaning, Miss Meal. The one with the wrong deductions is you. Think before you speak again. Patience, Francisca. I was about to reveal the truth. I guess where the murder took place? Did I say when or where the first time? The special circumstance is simply that the murder took place on a plane mid-flight. No matter which country, customs is quite strict in this day and age, so no matter what you do, the chances that the body will be found is very high. Therefore, there was no choice but to frame either Mr. Nero or myself. In other words, the only one who fits the boundaries of the criminal's movements is not Mr. Nero or myself, but you, Miss Cammy Meal. Only you, and you alone, could be the killer. And? Are you done already? I was about to fall asleep again. Anyway, let's be honest here. You don't have anything on me other than a whole lot of circumstantial evidence. What is this theme? I can see the outline of how the murder occurred, but I have no definitive evidence. What is this like? What is this music? And isn't there a piece of evidence that's still unaccounted for? Something that is still can't quite fit into the big picture.
Take that!
I don't have any actual evidence. I thought not. But that's because it went missing, and still is. Missing? What do you mean by that? In the complex puzzle that is this case, there was one piece of evidence I kept getting stuck on, and that is the victim's cell phone. Francisca, you were waiting at the airport for a phone call from Agent Hicks's cell phone. Or at least that's what you told me. Is that right? But Agent Hicks's cell phone could not be found at the crime scene. You mean the killer took the phone with him? Precisely. I suspect that if we were to find that phone, it would lead us to killer. Come on, get serious. If the victim fell to his death from that height, wouldn't his phone break as well? We won't know that until we try from a little experiment, will we? Francisca, I'd like you to ask for your assistance. You know the victim's phone number, do you not? Of course I do.
Agent Hicks's phone. It's ringing from somewhere, sir.
I hear it, detective. Now, where is it coming from? Miss Meal, wake up. Sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. I got sleepy all of a sudden because it sounds like a lullaby I used to love as a child.
No, I'd better find that cell phone fast.
It sounds like the phone is up the flight attendant's room. Okay. Well.
The ring is coming from somewhere in here, sir. Leave no stone unturned, Detective Gumshoe. We must find it. The ring is coming from somewhere around here. But it's not here, sir. Why do I have such a bad feeling about where we're going to find the phone? What? No, it can't be. This has got to be the victim's cell phone. Just whose locker is this, sir? It's Mr. Nero's. What?
So, Mr. Edgeworth, how'd it go? Were you able to find the phone? Where'd you find the phone?
I found it in the flight attendant's room, in Mr. Nero's locker.
What? But... Rhoda de Nero. I don't know anything about the phone. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Miss Von Karma, is it? I suggest you arrest Miss Rhoda de Nero right away.
Objection!
Objection! Wait, I have a theory. This is relevant to the incident with the keycard. When the killer went to steal the keycard, they conveniently stashed the cell phone in Mr. Nero's locker at the same time.
This is related to the keycard, alright. In the same way that we have zero proof that the killer did just that. The only voice that sings the truth is evidence. That is the one burge we cannot ignore.
What should I do? Francisca's right. I can't offer based conjecture at this point. Right then, why did the culprit take the cell phone from Agent Hicks? It must have something very incriminating on or in it.
Hold it!
Hold it!
What now, Miles Edgeworth?
It's not over yet. We have yet to figure out why the killer took the phone.
What?
Inside this phone lies the final piece of incriminating evidence that will point us to the killer. We need to examine his phone in more detail. The LCD is broken. Without a screen, you can't even place a call with this. This must be the switch that opens the phone. When did they stop putting keyboards like this in cell phones? Hey, this is one of those computer cell phones that they started selling recently. Computer cell phones? Yeah, it's got a computer in it, and it's a cell phone. Neat, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? All you need is a phone. All you need in a phone is the phoning part. Nothing more. I'm guessing yours can't even send out an email. Talk about inconvenient. Do you have a problem with what I do and do not care for, Detective? No, sir. As they say, simple is best. It's a camera lens. Come to think of it, I wonder, how exactly was Agent Hicks planning to preserve the crime scene of a smuggling? Francisca, I need you to confirm something. This cell phone, can it take pictures? Mr. Edgeworth, I can't believe you don't know about this kind of basic stuff, sir.
This looks like a very similar model to my own, and mine can take photos just fine.
Do you think Agent Hicks could have taken some pictures with this? In particular, pictures as evidence for his smuggling case? If so, I'd say there must be some very inconvenient photos in here for a killer smuggler. But the phone's all busted up, sir.
Even a super prosecutor can't repair a broken phone.
No.
I'll find a way, don't you worry about that.
May I go back to sleep now?
Objection!
Objection! The LCD screens on the inside and outside are broken, that's for sure. The That's also reason enough to believe that the killer wasn't able to erase the data. What? What do you mean by that, Francisco? It looks like our killer isn't very familiar with electronics. His phone still rang when I called it, meaning that only the LCD screens are broken. It's possible that the photos are still there inside, waiting to be accessed. All we need to do is transfer the data to my phone.
Francisca, your phone, if you please.
Very fine. It's transferring. Alright, displaying it now.
This is...
Agent Hicks was most certainly trying to obtain some evidence of a smuggling case.
Hey, the Olive Red's nowhere in this pic, sir.
But this has no meaning as a piece of evidence in his murder case, right?
Oh, she's right. There's not much we can find out about this Agent Hicks killer, sir.
Is this it? Is this the end? Is there really nothing in this photo that we can use?
Boxes of bed sheets. These are still in the cargo hold, though. There's nothing unusual about them in particular, but I can't shake the feeling.
If you're just playing around, mind if I go home?
Yes, I'd mind. What exactly is the difference between then and now? The fact that all the suitcases are here in this photo is odd.
Agent Hicks was still alive at the time, so what exactly is so odd about suitcases that haven't been used yet being here?
Yes, well, I was only pointing out things that are different between now and then.
Your automatic ramblings have put this attendant to sleep yet again, Miss Harris Edgeworth.
I'll give Sleepyhead here a rude awakening. A deafening objection and a contradiction. The guardrail, it looks exactly the same as it does now. That
rail is entirely too low. I even almost fell to my death. However, I was saved in a miracle-like manner. Perhaps it was to run away from death by the skin of one's gums.
I mean, to narrowly escape death by the skin of one's teeth. Shakespeare. Now then, there must be something in this photo. What's all this?
Oh, they are cargo ships from Virginia to Zhengfa.
So the reason they aren't here now is that they were dropped off in Zhengfa. Mr. LeBlanc, can you tell me about the contents of the boxes? Unfortunately, there is no English written on them anywhere.
One cluster of boxes is written here in Bulgarian. It says Shurma. It is cloth in English.
Cloth? Couldn't be. Is this where the killer...
What? What's that scary face?
Miss Meal.
Yes?
It appears that Agent Hicks was no ordinary investigator. He left us with a piece of evidence after all. A striking piece that will point out who this killer is.
Yeah. I love this theme.
Ha! Maybe you should enforce your mistaken reading of a simple picture, Mr. Edgeworth. The Borginian cargo in this piece of evidence will point us straight to the killer.
Take that!
And what is that supposed to prove? The killer used this piece of cloth to wipe the blood they had spilt. But there was one thing that bothered me this whole time. Where did it come from? And now I finally find my answer to this in this photo. I was really happy that I managed to time the end of that sentence right with the drop of the beat. Hell yeah. The cargo that was unloaded in Zhengfa had cloth written on it. In Borginian, that is. And this is where the killer grabbed a piece of cloth up to clean the blood with. That's right, the killer was someone who could read and understand Borginian. And the only crew member that fits the description is you, Miss Chamomile.
Hold it. Ha, that's pretty flimsy. The killer probably searched through all the boxes looking for something to use. When you're frantic, you don't care if a box is in English or Borginian.
Objection!
Objection. Sorry, but I cannot agree with your assessment of this killer's indiscriminate nature.
What?
There was no need for the killer to tear through boxes at random at all. And if the killer supposedly could not comprehend Borginian,
Well then. Logically, the killer would have opened this box first.
Take that!
Hey, it says bedsheets written in right on the English, right on the box, sir.
Precisely, and bedsheets would be perfect for cleaning up blood, wouldn't you say? So what are you trying to say? That if I were the criminal, this box of bedsheets would have been what I would have spotted first. However, the killer chose to use something Borginian cloth. Hell yeah, second time I got that. This theme slaps so hard. This is easily up there with like game 1 and 3 like pursuit theme for me. This is exactly the pursuit theme that was needed for a Miles Edgeworth game. The killer didn't want anyone to know that the real scene of the crime was this cargo hold, so they were afraid to leave signs that the box for the sheets had been opened. However, the Borginian cloth, well, that's a horse of a different color. Because the killer knew that it was going to be unnoted in the Republic of Zhengfa. That's right, that is why the Borginian cloth was used. And the only Borginian reader on board who could make such a calculated decision is you, Camille. You and you alone. It would be very easy for us to confirm if any of the boxes were resealed. All we have to do is contact the Zhengfa authorities in time. We may even find other evidence incriminating our killer within these boxes. So what do you say, Miss Meal? Why not confess your crime here and now? Or would you rather wait here and see what we find out from our investigation in Zhengfa? He was Interpol. I couldn't stop it. I brought him here. He started taking pictures. I couldn't be found out. I was scared. I was in trouble. I.
We've finished making all the arrangements to take the suspect in, sir.
Very good, Detective. What about the smuggling route? Did she say anything about that?
They're taking it down the precinct now. Hopefully we can get more out of her there. Whenever we approached the topic, she just started foaming at the mouth. It was scary, sir.
She probably wasn't prepared to commit a murder all of a sudden. One thing is for sure, the ring beyond this mess, the whole mess, means serious business. It looks like there's a lot more of this case than meets the eye. Mr. Edgeworth, I just want to say how much I appreciated everything you did. Thank you very much. It was nothing. In fact, I should be the one thanking you for your cooperation. But truly, if it wasn't for you, I might not be here right now. Instead, I can continue to serve our passengers as a flight attendant. Let me adjust my headphones. I hope that, well, please accept this as a token of my appreciation. Oh god, no. That's... I see. You don't have to take it if you don't want it. No, I mean, I would never turn down a lady's generous offer. Oh, thank you. I'm sure it will serve you well. And remember, we here at Go You Airlines are always ready to serve, Mr. Edgeworth. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. Now I must bid you farewell. May all your skies be blue, no matter where you go.
I can't believe we wound up investigating the whole day, sir, but boy was it fun.
Speak for yourself. My day was filled with earthquakes, elevators, and false charges. By the way, where's Francisca?
Oh, she's filling some customs paperwork for her departure.
Departure?
Yeah, Miss Von Karma's always really busy, sir. She's been flying from country to country to chase down some leads regarding her case.
Detective, can you cancel the car I had you reserve earlier?
You got it, sir.
5:47 p.m. Hope Springs Airport. Francisco. I thought I told you when you first landed. I have no time for idle chatter. I love that she has the old Great Revival theme, while Edgeworth now has like a new jazzy one. I love that. I really love that. Similar themes, but not the same. Hers is still very stuck up. His is much more loose at this point. I have no intention of wasting your time. However, it has been a while since we last met. I also have no time for such familiar reminiscences. Just who do you think I am? You are Francisco von Karma, a very proud prosecutor deserving as much respect. Until only a little while ago, I was but a wretched mutt who was always losing to you. A dancing Pyrrhot, leaving her life on the name and fame of her invincible father. True, your father, Manfred von Karma, didn't lose a single case for 40 years as a prosecutor. However, I wouldn't say he was invincible. What are you talking about? The group I'm on the trail of is a little more troublesome than most. The smuggling route was found this time is only a sliver of the big picture. Sounds like a dangerous assignment. You really don't have to worry. I can take care of myself. Yes, I suppose you can. Plus, there is another agent on this case with me. Oh, another agent. He's a star among Interpol agents and has the highest successful arrest rate. Who knows, you may even run into him Monday. I was simply caught up in this one case. I hardly see why we'd cross paths. I suppose, but I doubt you would say the same. I'm not following you. You'll understand soon enough. The fight has only just begun, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. I'll be back in this country soon enough. And when I am, you can be sure I'll pay you back in full.
And just like that, she's gone, sir. Thank goodness, I can finally rest easy knowing I won't have to watch out for her whip.
Detective Gumshoe, I want to thank you for all your help and cooperation.
Oh, it was nothing, sir. I was just happy to be able to work with you again. Oh, I think I'm gonna celebrate by adding a little extra salt to my instant noodles tonight.
Just how much did you cut his salary by, Francisco? Why are you asking about Francisco? You keep cutting his damn salary. Detective, I was wondering if you might give me a ride down to the prosecutor's office.
Sure thing, sir. I'll even fly down the road in a patrol car if you want.
Don't make me remind you, Detective. Safety first. Thus, I solved the first case upon my arrival home. Francisco von Karma, the smuggling route she was after. The leaders of that ring had already put their trump card into play. And the players on the other sides of this war. They would begin to make themselves known through the next incident. Edgeworth speaking.
Oh, finally. I called who knows how many times earlier, but I couldn't get through.
And you are?
Oh, have you forgotten my voice, Miles, my boy?
Is this the guy that I've seen the artwork of? Mr. Armano. Ernest Armano, correct? Ernest Armano. Probably slightly Spanish. Ah, so you do remember me. I know it's rather sudden, but I can't ask this of anyone else. This is gonna be really bad if if Fran listens to this and just hears me try to do a shit Spanish accent, because I don't even remember what I did for Diego Armando either. There's been an incident, Miles. My son, he's been kidnapped. Oh, that's the end? Shit. Yes, please save my progress. I think that's all for today. I cannot wait to find out what kind of guy Ernest Amano is. If he actually looks or sounds Spanish in the slightest. And most importantly, why the fuck Edgeworth immediately like went, it's you. Can't wait. Bye bye.